Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hardwood Nation podcast with your boy CL Anthony and my main man Bryce Ward. Bryce, we got some shit to get into. We have been enjoying Cancun for a little over a week. Both our team seasons came to an end. Mine at the hands of the Boston Celtics, yours at the hands of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I will give you the stage just to say, hey, how you feel about the season overall for the Orlando Magic, and what do you see going forward for the future?
Progress going forward. It was an amazing season for the Magic. If you were a fan and were watching it, it's probably the most fun you've had since the final season with Dwight, or the year after we went to the finals. It was on par, I'd say, with. I mean, the expectations weren't as high, but in terms of what we got to watch and watch these young guys play the way they did, it was a lot of fun. The Magic overachieved. They should be proud of everything they did this season. I didn't think we were going to make it to the second round, so the fact that they got so close was extremely encouraging. And basically, I just wanted those young guys to come out of this first playoff experience with as much growth and learning of the process that they could, and that they got their full fill of that, I believe. And most Magic circles now are, of course, been discussing where the steps forward should be and what players to add and this and that. And I just want to caution the Magic fans out there, because that last game, this series, it basically confirmed a lot of our biggest concerns for the season. And there's just a lot of fans out there that are quick to live in the moment and want to make fast moves that have cursed other franchises for trying to move ahead too fast, too early. Our three best players are 22 and 21, and I think a lot of natural progression and just learning the NBA more from those three guys is going to help push this team forward in a lot of ways. The experience of our coach and what he learned in the playoffs and what he's been able to learn and grow in these last 3 seasons. I just think there's a lot of small touch-ups that could be used and could be needed to push this team a little bit. But I just would like to, like I said, caution some fans who want to go for the home run swing this summer or whatever they see that as. There's a lot of different ways you can look at that, but just take in the season, enjoy it for what it was, and just know that there's going to be growth, and the team's going to push forward and get better regardless of the moves they make this summer. I'm not saying they shouldn't do anything. I'm just saying, as a fan, don't lose your mind or lose faith or hope in the team if they don't come back with another aging all-star who is injury prone, or a young small guard from Atlanta who doesn't seem to play well with others yet.
You might as well say his name. We call people out. Just say Trae Young. Like, we call people out here.
Yeah, PG, Clay, Trae Young, they seem like fun picks, but I'm just saying, don't lose your mind if what we do is a small adjustment, because this team is young. You can't skip steps like this, so you can't just force your way into the finals and win a championship because you sign a good player. So just be careful, enjoy what we had this year, and just I'm excited for next season to see how these young guys respond.
I think you guys are on track. I did pick you guys to go to the second round of the playoffs, but I just watching the game 7, because I was able to watch it all. I was sick, so I was home that day. The Magic got off to such a hot start.
Mhm.
Paulo got off to an amazing start. I mean, he had an amazing overall game, but the others played a little tight. Cleveland played tight at the beginning too, and it was premature, but I text Cortez and I said, "Congratulations." I said, "You're going to go to the second round." I said, "Cleveland's going to play tight. You guys have nothing to lose." Like, I literally texted that right before the game, so I felt bad.
You jinxed us.
Yeah, I felt bad with the results of the game. I will say that, but I did like what I saw in that game 7. But like I said, some of the others got a little tight.
Yeah, but Paolo steps up to the moment, and the other guys I think have to slowly learn to get there, even though they each all have moments that were big in their careers in the past. In other ways, this was a different experience, and most of those guys played tight in Cleveland every single game, and that was also true for Game 7. So Paolo is different, but yeah, the whole team he had no help essentially. So
Pretty much, yeah, and not calling anyone out specifically, but I do know Franz had a horrible game. Did you see
and
what?
you could tell he was visibly upset about it. You could tell he was visibly upset about the way the season ended with for him specifically in that game and his post presser and things like that.
Mhm,
Which was a good thing. Like if you're gonna lose like that and you're gonna have a bad game, I want to know that it's bothering you.
mhm, mhm.
So Franz will bounce back, but a lot of people were really down on Franz after that game, and I think that's silly to have that kind of reaction with your second best player, and he's been that for 2 seasons, and so he'll bounce back. He's 22 years old. This was a learning experience for him. So yeah.
Mhm. So as far as my team, um, I knew we were up against the 8 ball when Jimmy didn't play for the first round of playoffs. So I knew it was going to be tough to play against the Boston Celtics. So I still think of false prophets, but whatever. Um, but I do want to address something that was kind of at the top of the media cycle this week, as far as Pat Riley and his scorched earth state of the heat address that he does every year. He's like 78 right now, and as we both know, if a 78-year-old man wants to talk, he's going to say whatever he wants to say. Be damned of the consequences, okay? But
Mhm.
some of his quotes were taken out of context. I will say that. The Miami Heat unequivocally will not trade Jimmy Butler. It's not going to happen. But that's what speculation was all week. Oh, the Jimmy Butler era is over. Jimmy's going to be upset. The Heat are going to trade him. No. Because one quote that wasn't said that Pat Riley stated was, "We're not taking a wrecking ball to this thing. We're not going to tear this team up." He did say, he wants more out of Jimmy as far as games played. He wants more out of Eric Spoelstra as far as adapting. He wants more out of Tyler Hero, who he called fragile. So it's just but all the speculation about Jimmy Butler, I am absolutely not worried about. We actually have him under contract for 2 more years. He's looking for an extension that would add a third year. I think at like 65 million or some shit like that. Whatever the fuck Jimmy Butler wants, pay him. I don't care. Give it to him. Go over the fucking cap. Do what you got to do. Bam's going to get signed this offseason as well. Move Tyler, move Duncan, whatever. But Jimmy Butler's going to retire a Miami Heat player. He even said this week he doesn't want to play anywhere else but Miami. So I just wanted to, I don't know if you heard all the chatter going on about
I
that.
did, but I already knew how he felt about Butler. He's recently already said it again, and it's the Heat, and it's Jimmy Butler. So all these guys are on very similar wavelengths, and I don't think knowing your organization, knowing those guys, knowing Pat Riley. To be honest, Pat Riley didn't say anything too crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I think he would have said that straight to Jimmy's face. Jimmy was like, "Oh, Boston would be sitting at home, New York would be sitting at home." If Pat Riley was in front of him, he goes, "You're not." He would have said it to his face,
Right.
and there wouldn't have been anything. I didn't think it was anything to begin with. I get how the media could run with it, but I
Yeah.
already knew how he felt about Jimmy, so I wasn't expecting anything crazy. So I didn't think it. I just thought it was an interesting piece of entertainment, just because Pat Riley. is talking. That's the main thing. So now I didn't take it like that, but I see how other people could. But now I know where he stands with Butler and that team. So
Yeah, he does this once a year. The only time he really talks is at the end of the year. Whatever the result is, he has this press conference. Usually it's for an hour, and he scorches the earth. That's just what he does. He said worse things about LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh than he did about Jimmy Butler this last press conference. But everybody wanted to run with the story because, respectfully to the NBA, the playoffs have been kind of dry. This year. Maybe it's because my team isn't in it no more, but it's been kind of dry. Let me just say that. Damn, first round exit, man. God damn. Before I move on to the next topic, I do want to congratulate the 2003-2004 NBA MVP, Nikola Jokic. Quick thoughts on that?
that's who I picked was all season, or most of the season. I would say it was more of a debate before Embiid, got hurt and wasn't going to make the required games. But Luka and SGA, they definitely put up they put up their arguments. I'll say that there was a debate to be had. I just personally felt that the edge was always leaning towards Jokic. That's just me. I know there was like a top 4 debate most of the season, but I have no problems with him getting it. I know some people don't like it for multiple reasons, but I wasn't surprised, and I thought it was fair. I thought it was fine. So
absolutely, I have no complaints with it. I still hate the rule where you have to play at least 65 games to be considered for awards, end of season awards. But one of my best friends, actually my best friend, texted me and he was like, "We have to talk about the MVP." Well, we didn't have a chance to talk about it, but there's nothing really to talk about. The numbers still say Jokic is the best player in the NBA right now, and arguably he could have won it last year. He could have won this thing 4 years in a row. Let's be honest here. I know there was some Jokic fatigue, but no, he's the best player on the court right now. Let me ask you this question. One pick to start your franchise, Jokic or your boy in Dallas, Luka?
I'm going to pick Jokic every time.
MVP.
I'm going to go with the size. The debate would have been harder if you would have thrown Embiid in there for me.
Well, I'm just talking about specifically this season.
Jokic.
Jokic. Got it. So that's the consensus. People who know basketball know ball, so they know Jokic was the MVP. Luka had an amazing season, but as we always see in the playoffs, he's breaking down right now.
I'd be more than happy to pick Luka as my number 2 guy because you do need 2. Jokic wasn't able to win a championship until Murray got healthy, so in the playoffs. So
right,
I would take you need a number 2, but I don't want my main guy being and Luka's big, but if I have the choice for Jokic, he's going to be my number 1.
Absolutely. So right now, congratulations for the Dallas Mavericks to take their 2-1 series lead last night over the Oklahoma City Thunder. I saw 2 things in that game. The Thunder showed their youth, and Luka's breaking down. So I still don't know who's going to come out of this series, but I will say this. Whoever comes out of this series is probably going to be eliminated in the next round in the Western Conference Finals because neither team really impressed me. And like I said, Luka's giving it all, but he is injured. And I don't think he'll be able to pull through another series. What are your thoughts on the Thunder and the Mavericks right
now? It's a real toss-up because the youth might help OKC stay fresh towards the end of the series a little bit better than Dallas. But if Luka can play, it's going to be tough. I don't want to count Dallas out at all. It's just a real toss-up. I do want to ask you, do you think Luka's style and his body can hold up for a championship run ever.
No,
It currently built where he is at this high of a usage rate kind of thing. Where if you're going to use Luka this much,
right.
and with how he does play, a lot of physicality. Do you think he can hold up at all ever for a championship run if he continues this? Kind of like the Zion thing. It's like the way he comes into the league, the way he plays, is it just a matter of time before it catches up to him? And has Luka just this is as far as he's made so far? Do you think it's realistic to think you can win a championship that way?
People have different body types. Zion has his issues, Luca has his issues, but there's still different
Yeah.
body types between the two. Luca actually needs to get his body stronger, right? He's not as heavy as Zion, but he needs to get his body stronger because he's kind of flabby, respectfully. He's kind of flabby, okay? And I actually saw an interview that Charles Barkley did on Club Shay Shay a couple of weeks ago. And Shannon asked him about Zion, because Charles was, at one point heavy in his career. And Charles said this: it's hard to lose weight during the season. You have to come into the season, in shape. And we know Luca does. Luca does nothing. He plays in the off season, but he works off his weight during the season. And Zion does the same thing. So I think this off season, even though there will be the Olympics this off season, I think Luca needs to work on making his body stronger and not have so much loose body. Because like I said, he's not tight. He's just a little flabby. He's not tight because right now he's having foot and knee issues.
Which I think he likes to come in a little bit bigger so he can kind of bully a lot of the defenders that have to go up against him because he's so big. Mm-hmm. And like the weight helps him, but it's in this situation eventually it's just body breaks down.
Right. And like you said, his usage rating doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. So Boston went into Cleveland last night and stole Game 3 from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Do you think Cleveland has enough to make this thing go 7?
Maybe it's going to be close. I think more like 6. I think they're putting up a better fight than I thought, but I still don't think it goes all the way to 7.
Yeah, Cleveland's fighting Boston really hard. I will say that. Donovan Mitchell, who may be traded this offseason, just saying, hey, call me Donovan. He's laying it all out. I will say that. He's been playing fantastic. Boston is doing what Boston does. They go through the motions. We're used to seeing Boston just go through the motions and not really. Boston has the Kevin Durant syndrome. You know what you're going to get every night from Boston. You're not going to get any more. You're not going to get any less. You just know what you're going to get from Boston. So I think Cleveland may be able to push this thing 7 because they seem to be the hungrier team. Boston's the more talented team, but Cleveland seems to be the hungrier team. And I think that gives them a little edge. Before I bring up this next series, I would really like to apologize to the Timberwolves fans. I have not paid any attention to you guys all season long. And for you guys to go into Denver and win the first 2 games in Denver for a Nuggets fan is horrifying. So Minnesota is still up 2-1. They lost Game 3, which was pivotal. Michael Malone called out his team, and they responded in Game 3. Who do you have in this series, Bryce? Because Minnesota still has the home court right now.
Denver.
Really?
I have not wavered in that. I haven't forgotten that Denver came back in multiple 3-1 series before, and that was with Murray not even in the series. I'm not worried about him. When everybody now going down 0-2 and losing both games at home, that's a bad look.
Right.
But I didn't think the whole series was going to go that way. Mm-hmm. And after the way they won in Game 3, it made me really think that I still believe Denver wins this series. I think Denver wins it in 7. I haven't wavered. I think Minnesota. I think the series is going to get to them in terms of their experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think Jokic is going to end up hitting a few crazy shots like he does. I think Minnesota is right there, and I think after this season, I'll give them more of a shot to win a championship. But I think this is still. I think Denver is going to show why they're the champions in the rest of the series.
I want to slow some of our fans down for a second. Anthony Edwards' trajectory is phenomenal. He is it. I wish he was on the East Coast. He is it. But respectfully, for the people that's comparing him to Michael Jordan, please shut the fuck up. Please, I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. Okay.
They're just so quick to jump the gun on everything nowadays.
Oh, I'm so fucking sick of it. When I watch Anthony Edwards play, he doesn't remind me of Michael, who's the greatest player / shooting guard of all time. He doesn't remind me of Kobe, who's the second greatest shooting guard of all time. He actually reminds me of the third greatest shooting guard of all time. I see D Wade all in that kid. People say Donovan Mitchell is like the next D Wade. No. No. I see D Wade and Anthony Edwards, and that's not bad. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. I see that in him. He is something, and I think Minnesota's going to clip different.
I mean, a big step up for Minnesota if they can. I mean, huge. Like, you legitimately can win the championship now. So, we'll see. We'll see. I just think they're a year. I'm not willing to bet against Denver yet. That I'm not willing to, but it's going to be a very close series.
The game 2 is what bothered me because Gobert was out for the birth of his first child, and Minnesota still just beat their asses down in Denver. I'm like, what? I was almost like, Gobert shouldn't even play game 3. Y'all just whoop their ass without him. But I just...
Also, though, Murray got upset, got flustered. I don't think you can keep Murray down the whole series. I don't think Jokic... I think Jokic is too smart to allow the same things to keep happening. And I believe their coach is too smart to allow the same things to keep happening. Adjustments are going to be made. Murray's not going to get locked up every game. It's not going to be like games 1 and 2 the whole time. There's no way. Even with Gobert.
Outside of Eric Spoelstra, who I would never criticize, Michael Malone is fucking amazing as a head coach. Then we have the Pacers and the Knicks. Some people are surprised at how close this series has been. The Knicks are up 2-1, but this has been a fucking Eastern Conference war. What do you think about this series?
I liked what's his name, Carlisle for Indiana.
Yeah.
I liked what he had to say after the officiating in game 2, I believe.
Game 2, yeah. Cost him a little money though, but yeah.
But it needed to be said. And the way he said it, I loved it because we know, everybody knows, we've seen it, but I wanted it to. I like it when the coaches comment on it because they see it more than anybody. And I loved it. I loved what he said, and I mean, I just didn't think the Knicks were going to be so formidable without Randall.
Bro.
And so they just look. Thibodeau has that team playing so tough. Josh Hart hasn't missed like a minute in like I don't know how many games. It's impressive. I don't know. This one's like a toss up to me too, like the Thunder Mavs. It's just it could go either way. I do think the NBA wants the Knicks, of course. So
of course.
I think we're gonna see Celtics Knicks in the next round.
I'll say this: game 3, which the Pacers won. There was a call miss. There was a goaltending call miss with under 2 minutes left that should have went the Knicks' way. I will say that. So I don't know if Carlisle's words were in the ref's head, but I was like, that is clearly a goaltend. And the Knicks lost a couple of points off of that. But the Pacers have been playing very tough. So kudos to Indiana, man. I love it. I love both those teams. It's just fuck the
Yeah.
New York fans, okay? But as far as the
Yeah.
teams, I love both those teams. But yeah, fuck New York. Um,
Mhm.
and we're gonna close out today with a couple of things. We had 2 coaches get fired this week. Darvin Ham of the Los Angeles Lakers and Frank Vogel. So I want to start with the Lakers. Mike actually texted me. Okay. And me and Mike talked about this. So I'm going to ask you, because Mike says JJ Redick is going to be the next head coach of the Lakers. Bryce Ward. What the fuck is going on with the Lakers, man? Like, what is it? Okay. What is it?
Being desperate because LeBron James is there. Being desperate because they're the Lakers. Being desperate because their fans and expectations are always high. And when you make moves out of being desperate, I just feel like it's high risk. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's the right move. So I don't think the coach is gonna fix it the way they want. They're gonna be in trouble for a little bit, I think. So I don't think it's the right move. I think you have to let go of the coach, but I don't think JJ Redick is anywhere near what you need to be picking. So I don't think JJ Redick's gonna be the pick though, for that matter. I think that's just something to talk about.
They're going to bring Frank Vogel back now that he's free?
I don't know what they're gonna do, but if JJ's gonna start somewhere, he should start in like Charlotte or something.
Right, with an up and coming team. Yeah, absolutely. And no disrespect to Mike. Mike know we love him. Mike was like, "Have you seen how they bonded on the podcast?" Like, it doesn't mean shit. Like,
No, that doesn't mean anything. So that's a silly pick.
All right, so I'm gonna throw some names out really quick, not in any order, but I'm gonna throw some names out. So we have Kenny Atkinson, Steve Nash, Jacques Vaughn, Monty Williams, and Frank Vogel. And now we're going to add Mike Budenholzer to the list. Bryce, Kevin Durant has had 6 coaches in the last 6 years. What the fuck?
He's just, I don't know if he means to be, but he's like a cancer. And it has nothing to do with the coaches or nothing like that. It's just people get desperate when they have KD too, and then they just want to go from coach to coach because it's easy to scapegoat the coach. But the Suns aren't winning anything. Budenholzer's not moving anything.
No, he's such a trash coach. He's not a championship level coach. Despite that championship that Milwaukee won off the bad knee of Giannis, Milwaukee's paying for it right now because Giannis has not been 100% healthy for the last 2 years because he played through that playoff series. Budenholzer is lucky that Giannis gave up a little bit of his career to close that series out. And I meant to say, I love Tibbs, but we know how Tibbs does his players. Tibbs done took 3 years off of Josh Hart's career.
Mm-hmm.
He's taking 3 years off that kid's career. But I absolutely despise Mike Budenholzer as a head coach. And I don't know what Phoenix was thinking by bringing him in. 1, they should have never hired Vogel because Vogel's trash. 2, you bring in Mike Budenholzer, who's fucking the same thing. They're the same guy. Like, what is this? So they're just recycling coaches right now. And it's just like,
mm-hmm.